Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 2nd. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a nice long weekend. Kids are going back to school tomorrow. In fact, many teachers are probably going back to the classroom today to get set up before the kids return tomorrow. Ainsley McPhail is going to be live with the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba with some helpful tips and some tools that'll help some kids that might be struggling with anxiety or learning disabilities. So we're going to give you a breakdown of some of the programs they offer and how it helps. But first, your headlines. Tobacco settlement money on the way. How much cash from the deal will flow into Manitoba coffers and what it may fund. Cabinet preps. The Liberals get ready to face a new dynamic as Parliament and Polyev are about to return. And the Hope Movement walk to raise addictions awareness arrives in Winnipeg after more than 2 weeks on the road. Bringing in Terry now. It was a beautiful long weekend. Lots of heat, lots of sunshine, and then yesterday cap it all off with some rain, which we very much needed.
Well, more of that is now going to continue. That kind of turned the page a little bit on what we can expect now throughout this week. Well, here we are starting out waiting for the sun to rise. It's dark out there this morning. We're not going to be seeing that sun till just before 7 a.m. It's 16 degrees right now. North-northwest winds are 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 98%. So cool. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. 16 degrees is actually above seasonal. Dark is what I mean. But cool temperatures as we rise today, because that's the issue. Where we're starting out might be above seasonal, but we're not going to make very many gains today. So maybe only tacking a couple of degrees onto the 16 that we're currently experiencing. There will be some clouds, possibly some scattered showers. There was a bit of activity that rolled through in the overnight hours. That's pushing off to the east now. Northern Manitoba might also expect a little bit of activity today as far as precipitation goes. Certainly on the cloudier side here through the south, and we'll see those clouds kind of throughout the day today with that possibility of showers, but a better chance of those showers passing through overnight, and then we'll see them throughout the day tomorrow. And it's not just tomorrow. There's another round still yet on Thursday. There you can see it's kind of looming as we look ahead through the future cast. So over the course of this week, rainy, cool, certainly going to feel like fall is in the air. It will start to get a little bit sunnier as we look ahead to the weekend, and maybe on the other side of the weekend, a little bit warmer too.
Thank you, Terry. A memorial service for the Norwegian hiker who went missing and was later found dead was held on Monday. Stefan Sketelvik was a 29-year-old man from Norway who had set out on a hiking journey. He was expected to arrive in York Factory but never made it. His body was later found by a search crew near the area. His family arrived in Winnipeg Friday. Northern and First Nations community members who had met Sketelvik during his travels also attended. His younger sister said he had been searching for a deeper meaning in life.
On the way, he met the people of Canada and fell in love for the ways of living here, together with the First Nation. The respect and love for the nature and the humbleness in how to deal with the greatness of Mother Earth must have been giving Stefan so much answers.
A family spokesperson said Sketelvik's body will be flown back to Norway on Wednesday. A service is also planned at the family's local church. Billions of dollars from tobacco companies are starting to flow into provincial and territorial coffers. This comes from the $32.5 billion settlement made in March, requiring 3 major tobacco companies to pay billions to provinces, territories, and former smokers looking to recoup smoking-related health care costs. The province stands to receive an estimated $1.1 billion, with an initial payment of $280 million. What the province will be doing with the money? The Premier has previously said the payout would fund cancer treatment and the building of a new Cancer Care Manitoba headquarters. But the Manitoba Tobacco Reduction Alliance says some of the money should go towards smoking prevention efforts targeting youth.
We would like to see that here in Manitoba and work in an innovative and strategic manner because we know that early intervention saves lives and that treatment later is not the answer, but certainly we need to continue to invest and spend on treating people that have been already harmed by these products.
We reached out to the province to find out exactly how much Manitoba is set to receive. We were told that number is still being finalized and will be reported to the public next month. Manitoba's police watchdog has cleared an officer in the shooting of a man in the middle of rush hour traffic last summer. Police were initially called about a man who had tried to set the gas tank of a truck on fire before walking into traffic at Notre Dame and Arlington Street carrying a knife. The officer and his partner said they attempted to use their tasers and pepper spray, but neither were effective. And when the man lunged at them, he fired a single shot. The report said that is corroborated by witnesses and video surveillance. The man who was shot confirmed most of the details, but maintains he only pulled out the knife after police drew their weapons first. He also said he had consumed meth before the incident. 32 Liberal MPs have signed a letter calling for action against anti-Semitism following the stabbing of a Jewish woman in an Ottawa grocery store. Ottawa police have charged a 71-year-old with aggravated assault and possession of a dangerous weapon and are treating the stabbing as a hate-motivated crime. Quebec MP Anthony Housefather posted this letter on social media. It reads in part, "Right now, Jews make up slightly more than 1% of Canada's population, but are the victims of 70% of reported religious-based acts of hate." Prime Minister Mark Carney on Friday called the grocery store attack senseless and deeply disturbing. MPs will return to the House in exactly 2 weeks. It will be the first time the Prime Minister will face off with Pierre Poilievre in the Commons since the election. CTV's Colton Trail on the political mountains and the preparations.
This is the calm before the political storm.
The next 3 months are going to make or break Mark Carney and the Liberals.
For months, the Prime Minister has delayed his biggest promises. Canada's nation-building projects to be announced in the fall. A federal budget not coming until October. Now, with Parliament back in just 2 weeks, sources tell CTV News Mark Carney will meet with both his cabinet and his caucus to prepare.
I think the message will be, keep your focus where it ought to be focused. That is on economic opportunity, that is on building, that is on delivering, and that is on jobs and growth.
But it won't just be the Liberal Party Carney has to answer to. For the first time, he'll face questions from Pierre Poilievre in the House of Commons.
He destroyed a previous Liberal Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, in the House of Commons and through his activities, so he should not be underestimated.
Jobs, the economy, and crime are likely to be targets for the Conservatives. The Liberals have promised new bail legislation in the fall and will unveil their first budget, one which is expected to not only reflect massive increases in military spending, tax cuts, and infrastructure investments, but also 15% savings in government departments over the next 4 years.
What they've outlined for reallocation is not going to get us anywhere near what we need in order to meet those NATO targets and get to an operating balance.
It's a significant to-do list for the Liberals when Parliament returns. And on top of it all, Donald Trump's tariffs still in place, and now the effects showing up in negative economic forecasts.
A Manitoban couple walked nearly 800 kilometers to raise awareness about addictions. Samantha Powderhorn and Luther Alexander have been walking since August 17th. They started the Hope Movement Walk in Thompson and arrived at the Forks in Winnipeg on Sunday. The walk aimed to raise awareness about addictions and the mental health crisis, especially in northern communities.
I realized that this is the root of the trauma that we face as Indigenous folks. Because it's a lonely, lonely road, and we have to start normalizing sobriety, breaking cycles, getting an education, healthy relationships.
Powderhorn added the walk meant so much to witness and experience, especially with her best friend, Alexander. Many dogs retrieve balls, but this one retrieves bats.
That is one good dog. Yeah. He needs some treats.
June is her local baseball team's MVP, most valuable pooch. The Yuva Sutter High Wheelers, an independent professional baseball team in Marysville, California, have made June their bat dog. She uses her retrieval instincts, usually put to work when hunting for bat dog duties. Of course, the crowd goes wild for her work, probably because she's so fetching. Look at her. What a good girl. Here's a look now at what's going on the Norwood Bridge. Looks pretty light so far. Things are moving well. This might be the last day we see it so smooth as kids go back to school tomorrow. If you see any issues out on the streets, please let us know. Let's go down to Ainsley McPhail, who is live at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. They have really a lot of great programs there to help kids along in their learning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Manitoba. And this time of year, being back to school, is going to bring up a lot of anxiety and a lot of questions for parents and students heading back, struggling through a learning disability and ADHD. Now, there's lots of resources here at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba, including the Barton Reading and Spelling Program, newly involving French as well. But that anxiety that I mentioned is going to present differently for every student, and for the ones with a learning disability, extra challenges with homework, reading, math, spelling, you know, presenting mental health challenges too, like a stomach ache or a headache. A new teacher, a new friend, or a new classroom can already be a difficult situation, but dealing with these challenges adds an extra layer. We'll have more on how to combat this at 6:37.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. It is still dark out there.
Yeah, it really is. 6:45 is when that sun will be up this morning, so 6:45, certainly taking a little longer each day, and then setting at 8:11, so seeing those shorter days, and now we're starting to see those cooler days, although this morning isn't necessarily cooler at all. We're still well above seasonal. A normal low would be about 8 degrees. We're doubling that this morning, kicking things off at 16 right now, with a few extra clouds, although now that I'm standing out here on the rooftop, there will be some sunshine once it rises in 40 minutes time or wherever we're at right now. But we're probably then going to see those clouds building up through the day. 13K winds are out of the northwest right now, with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 97%. So yes, there's not so heavy of clouds right now that it'll be completely blocking the bit of sunshine we might enjoy through the morning, but then we're probably going to notice those clouds building a bit through the day. There's even the possibility of some scattered showers, although a better chance of those showers moving in the overnight hours and then continuing through tomorrow. And then even heavier rain is expected to be moving through on Thursday, and we will start to notice these temperatures dropping off. While today we're above seasonal to kick things off, and we'll still gain a couple degrees up to about 18. It will be getting even cooler throughout the rest of the week, and perhaps a little bit soggier too. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Good morning, it is 6:15. An arson gutted a live music venue in the Exchange District early Friday morning. The city says crews were sent to the Exchange Event Center around 5 o'clock Friday morning. It was declared under control about an hour and a half later, but not before doing some serious damage. The interior appears completely black, and sun can be seen coming in through the ceiling. It's also known as the old Sanford Building and Moz Garage, and is a recognized historical building construction in 1890.
Devastation. Very, very sad that this can happen again so soon after something so heartbreaking with Johnny G's. But on its own, it was still very disheartening to hear that this again is happening early in the morning, where really no one is out to see anything of what's happening.
A developer currently has plans to add a 9-story addition with 114 housing units on top of the building. No injuries were reported in the blaze. The Major Crimes Unit is investigating. A Northern First Nation is suing Manitoba Hydro, saying it has left the community isolated. The lawsuit was filed by the York Factory First Nation, a community nearly 700 kilometers north of Winnipeg, accessible only by a winter road, boat, or plane. The claim alleges Hydro is intentionally creating artificially low water levels on Split Lake, levels that are so low a provincial ferry can't operate. First Nation leaders say the community has had to rely on expensive charter flights and freight boats for supplies. The claim seeks a court injunction ordering Hydro to release more water into Split Lake so that ferry can operate. Hydro declined to comment, saying the matter is before the courts. The Crown Corporation has previously stated it's helping York Factory First Nation by providing boats to help transport people and supplies. No statement of defense has been filed as of Friday, and none of the allegations in the claim have been tested in court. 34,000 public sector workers in British Columbia will begin job action today. The union that represents them hasn't said which workers will strike. In Alberta, a labor standoff means teachers could soon be on strike as well. Add to that the labor disputes at Canada Post and Air Canada. It's been a summer of labor unrest. CTV's Heather Wright on what it could mean going forward.
Labor Day may mark the unofficial end of summer. But for union members marching in Labor Day parades across the country, it's also an opportunity to look to the past,
reflect on what we got done over the years,
and think about the future.
If we don't talk, then we're not going to get things done.
Labor Day in Canada dates back to 1872, and this year's parade comes during a year of growing labor unrest, including the Canada Post strike, the Air Canada flight attendant strike, and the federal government's increasing use of binding arbitration.
Last month, Ottawa used Section 107 of the Labour Code to order binding arbitration and end the Air Canada flight attendant strike, an order the union ignored. An agreement was eventually reached with the help of a mediator.
For the first time, workers said, no, this isn't fair. They're abusing Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code.
Stephen Tufts is a Labour professor at York University and says the government needs to rethink how it uses Section 107, as some businesses have come to rely on it to end strikes rather than bargaining.
They stopped developing any other strategy to deal with workers. They stopped thinking about what happens if workers go on strike because they knew that this government would simply invoke this clause.
While Labour leaders point to the Air Canada strike as a win for unions, it remains a volatile time for workers. 34,000 public sector employees could walk off the job in British Columbia, while in Alberta, teachers could strike after contract talks stalled. There is also uncertainty over tariffs, a high cost of living, and youth unemployment at nearly 15%, which experts say can have a lasting impact.
It's what labor economists call a scarring effect. So you have their whole careers could potentially be affected adversely from those early opportunities or lack of opportunities in the labor market.
Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Some breaking news from the world of entertainment. Celebrated Canadian First Nations actor Graham Greene has died at the age of 73.
Oh, Buffalo, Tatanka, Buffalo. Well.
Greene is best known for his Oscar-nominated breakthrough role as Kicking Bird in Kevin Costner's 1990s film Dances with Wolves. Greene also starred in a number of other high-profile feature films such as The Green Mile, Maverick, and Die Hard with a Vengeance, to name a few. His manager has confirmed he died in Stratford, Ontario after a long illness. The Sikh community gathered in Winnipeg on Sunday for the annual Nagar Kirtan parade. Crowds gathered at the legislature to celebrate the significance of Sikhism's final guru, now honored through the religion's holy book. This year marked the parade's 25th anniversary in Winnipeg. Organizer Jujar Brar said the event celebrates not only the faith, but also the people who carry it forward.
It's a great way to celebrate our culture, but it's also a great way to celebrate kind of our spot here in Winnipeg. Obviously, you know, a lot of people, they are born here or moved here from India here, and we kind of established new lives, and it's a celebration of the past that we have and kind of the new culture that we built here in Canada as well.
The parade also featured a free community kitchen, Sikh martial arts demonstrations, and cultural displays. And here's what's happening in traffic along Portage Avenue. It looks pretty smooth so far this morning. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Still pretty dark out there. We're about 25 minutes away from sunrise as we look now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So once the sun rises, I don't think there's so many clouds that we won't enjoy a little bit of that sunshine first thing, but then the clouds will continue to build up through the day. And perhaps as the day goes on, we'll be seeing less and less of that sunshine. And as far as temperatures go, well, we're getting a little blast of warmth this morning. I shouldn't say a blast of warmth, but it is above seasonal, certainly. 16 degrees and seeing these mid to high teens all throughout southern Manitoba. It's the lack of gains that we'll be making today that will keep us well below normal. Moving up into parts of northern Manitoba, and it's single digits all throughout. Again, some heavier clouds will be building up and that possibility of some scattered scattered showers, not just here in the south where we'll see those clouds building through, but for northern Manitoba where you're already waking up to the extra clouds. Here's a look at how the temperatures will rise throughout the day today. So I've stopped this at noontime, and we really haven't budged much by midday. Northern Manitoba still could be in single digits, and in fact, I think it's Thompson today that might actually watch those temperatures drop off as the day goes on. The possibility of some scattered showers across the north, but we too could be seeing some, if not today, then more likely overnight and through tomorrow. That chance of showers is there. And the temperatures may only get cooler as we continue on through this week. 11 degrees, that's almost 10 degrees below seasonal. 21 would be a normal daytime high. We might get back to that on the other side of the weekend with a little more sunshine once we're looking through the weekend itself. And speaking of sunshine, looking gorgeous as it's setting out in the Navin area. That's a polo feeding in the foreground there. Beautiful photo by Lyle. Thank you for this, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Canada's wildfire season, already the second worst on record, is showing no signs of slowing down. In the Northwest Territories, 90 are out of control, prompting evacuation orders of 2 communities. Across BC, thousands of lightning strikes have sparked new fires in the province, nearly tripling in a matter of days. But there is some relief in Newfoundland and Labrador, where there is currently only 1 out-of-control fire burning. There was a time the NDP was seen as the loudest champion for Canadian workers, but their support has now shifted to other parties. CTV's Jeremy Sharon now on where it's gone and what it means for the New Democrats as Parliament resumes and gets back to business in a couple of weeks.
It was clear months ago on the campaign trail. We missed it. The biggest political battleground isn't in Ottawa, but in warehouses and factories around the country.
Support of the average working Canadian family is definitely up for grabs.
The support of union workers, once strongly held by the NDP, has shifted. An election collapse for the New Democrats, including in union-heavy ridings, means the party currently without a leader has to change its approach to win back that support, says former party leader Tom Mulcair.
The NDP has to understand that at its very base, you had the labor movement. And they've been taking that for granted, figuring that organized labor would just stay with them.
But they didn't, and both the Liberals and the Conservatives are looking to keep what they took from the NDP.
Conservatives increasingly have realized how to speak to these voters better.
Former communications director to Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, Ben Woodfindon, believes the Conservative Party has connected best with working-class voters.
I think the Conservatives have a real opening here to kind of really solidify their place with these working class voters and show that they are the party that has workers' interests.
Well, the Liberal Party is trying to make that pitch too.
I think it's about understanding how the labor movement has changed as well.
Though the government's intervention in countless work stoppages, Air Canada being the latest, has earned them criticism from some public sector unions, something this strategist says they'll have to face.
It's really about being honest and creating those relationships that maybe weathered under Justin Trudeau.
The latest data from Stats Canada shows there are more than 5 million unionized workers in the country, a number parties are keenly aware of as they look to solidify the union vote.
Coming up, we're live at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. As kids get ready to go back to school, we're going to learn to watch for early signs of problems in the classroom. Stay with us.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
There's a look outside, getting closer to sunrise, but seeing more and more clouds building up as we get closer to our chance of even seeing the sun. 16 is where we're sitting right now with northwest winds, 13 clicks. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 97%. Yeah, it was kind of a race against the sun rising at 6:45 and the clouds building up, and whether or not we'd get to see that sun, that particular view outside looked a little bit cloudy. I'll be heading up there in about 10 minutes time to get a look from our rooftop, see if it's looking any better or brighter. By then, it will almost be sunrise. There were some passing showers overnight, moving now into northwestern Ontario. So there is still the possibility that we could see some showers today, and also the below seasonal temperatures. Well, it's 16 degrees to kick us off. 18 is our expected high today. That will keep us a little below seasonal, 21 normal for this time of year. 8 degrees is a seasonal low temperature, and that's likely where we'll fall to overnight. If we don't see the showers today, there's an even better chance that we will overnight. And then throughout the day tomorrow, that chance of showers will continue with even cooler temps yet. 14 degrees expected for tomorrow, with a bit more of a wind as well out of the north at about 30 kilometers per hour. From there, could get soggier and even cooler yet on Thursday before we're starting to see the temperatures on the rise again, but not getting back to seasonal till the other side of the weekend, although for the weekend itself, we should start to see a little more sunshine.
Thank you, Terry. The city of Thompson is honoring missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. On Friday, MKO held a ceremony to unveil a monument at Thompson City Hall. The metal figure of a woman in front of an ornate set of wings is meant to honor missing and murdered women, girls, and Two-Spirit people.
This monument is a place of remembrance. It is a place where we can come to honor the lives of our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, our aunties, and our Two-Spirit and gender diverse relatives who were taken from us too soon.
The day began with a pipe ceremony, a blessing of the sacred site, and smudging. There were also speakers, reflections, and cultural presentations, followed by a community feast. An out-of-control wildfire is edging toward the town of Fort Providence in the Northwest Territories, prompting the evacuation orders of 2 communities.
It's a powerful fire, and so when the smoke allows, there's aerial attacks being done in the community. There's a lot of structural protection work being done, so sprinklers put on top of houses.
The fire had already burned through an area larger than the city of Toronto. There are more than 100 wildfires burning across the Northwest Territories, 89 of which are out of control. In Nova Scotia, the Long Lake wildfire remains out of control. Flames have destroyed at least 20 homes, with more than 500 properties being evacuated. Across BC, thousands of lightning strikes have sparked new fires in the province, nearly tripling over the past couple of days to more than 150 fires burning. While in Newfoundland and Labrador, there is a bit of relief. There is currently only 1 out-of-control fire burning in that province. Indigenous leaders from across the country will meet in Winnipeg this week for the Assembly of First Nations annual meeting.
I look forward to chiefs having those discussions and to hearing their thoughts, their views.
The annual General Assembly will begin tomorrow with the Major Projects Law expected to dominate discussions. The AFN's national chief says it will be an opportunity for chiefs to plan their response to the recently passed Building Canada Act, which allows the federal cabinet to designate projects and exempt them from various laws in order to fast-track the approval process. Students across the country are likely feeling a mixture of excitement and anxiety as many get ready to start a new school year. For many parents, it's also meant added financial stress to get their children ready. CTV's Alison Bamford on how this year back to school is costing more.
The days of summer break are numbered.
Oh, there it is!
And Stephanie Bird's family is soaking up every last bit.
I feel like it's a little bittersweet. It's been a fun summer.
But there's excitement to get into a routine with the stress of back to school shopping now behind them.
We had to get like 8 erasers and like all these different notebooks, and so you're kind of sorting through making sure you're getting like the right notebook that has the right lines in it.
A study from the Retail Council of Canada suggests those long lists of school supplies could total about $700 per student. Higher costs linked to inflation and U.S. tariffs.
In particular, you look at goods out of Southeast Asia and China, for example, who's a very significant manufacturer of school supplies. And those are all directly impacted by U.S. tariffs. And as a result, the ripple effect as it impacts the global pricing, including those into Canada.
A ripple effect already making waves. The Salvation Army runs a backpack program every year to cover supplies for students who can't afford it otherwise. Even the nonprofit has noticed their funds don't stretch as far as they used to.
Our buying power is decreasing, and we're trying to help as many people as we can. So we've tried to go midway on a lot of the product, but maintaining a certain standard.
The families we talked to are shopping for deals and making cuts where they can.
We still have some leftovers from last year I'm gonna throw in there for him.
There's lots to get, so we kind of like send half, and then as they need it, we send more.
Efforts to not break the bank before class even starts. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Edmonton Food Bank is going above and beyond.
4 minus 2 equals 2.
Its Beyond Food program teaches newcomers skills like resume writing, job interviews, tax prepping, and financial literacy. Their ultimate goal is to help people in need find work and become more food secure. Almost 4,000 people used the program last year. More than half of them were able to land a job. Here's a look now at what's going on at Confusion Corner. Things have picked up over here, as you can see, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see any issues out on the streets, let us know, please. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.38, while the provincial average is slightly higher at $1.39. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.40. The lowest price in the city is $1.27. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. You might want to keep an eye out for some signs that your kid might have a learning disability, and you're going to tell us a little bit more on what that looks like. Oh, I think we just lost Ainsley. We might have to go back to her in a little bit. It looks like we lost our signal. Any chance we're going to get it, guys? Anything? No? All right. Well, we're going to check in a little later, but first, is Terry out on the rooftop right now? Is she there?
Hi.
Hi, there you are. Running up
made it
those
up the
stairs.
Whoa.
Well, thank you for being there. How's it feeling out there right now?
Do you know what? It's not bad. It's a little bit muggy. And even when I was getting dressed this morning, I was kind of taking a look at the forecast and what we were going to be seeing, and I'm thinking, do I need to, bring rain gear? And I think, well, if there's a possibility that we could see some showers, it's not a sure bet. But what we are going to notice all throughout the week is the cooler temperatures. But here's the thing about cooler temperatures for this time of year. I think a lot of kids, they've done some back to school shopping, they've got their new fall clothes, and they get really excited to wear their fall clothes. And then we sometimes get that blast of heat into September, like we had over the weekend, and then it's like, oh, you can't really wear your new fall clothes. But today I was like, oh, I'm kind of in the blazer and sweater mode and everything, and I'm thinking, we're into fall fashion right now. So expect cooler temperatures at least throughout this week. We might start to see things warming up on the other side of the weekend, but for this week itself, temperatures remaining below seasonal, and then of course the possibility of some showers off and on. We may see some today, but there's an even better chance overnight and through tomorrow that rain will come, and then it only gets cooler throughout this week. Today about 18 degrees. That's as good as it'll get, and we're still waiting for the sun. Taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back in just a moment with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Before we take a break, we're going to go and join Ainsley McPhail, who is live at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. There you are. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, you know what? I almost said Monday, but it probably feels like Monday for a lot of us with that long weekend. Back to school is among us, and a lot of parents are going to have some questions in regards to their child's learning disability. Karen Valtos joins us now to kind of fill in the gaps, because you're hearing from parents. What are you hearing right now?
Yeah, I think just the anxiety, Ainsley, of starting school again, right? Summer's a nice time to take a break and to not worry about all the things that may be part of learning, and now we're gearing up for school again.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to a learning disability, it's not one size fits all. What are some things that you may recognize in your child?
Right, so often when kids are experiencing a learning disability, maybe it's diagnosed, maybe it's undiagnosed, they're going to know something's up themselves, right? So learning is going to be just a little bit more challenging for them, not as easy as it might be for their peers. So they may be experiencing some mental health challenges like you mentioned, right? Not wanting to go to school. You know, you'll see some telltale signs. Maybe they're not experiencing it to that level, but reading is still difficult. So they're struggling a little bit more. Hearing things like, I hate reading, I don't want to read, I hate math, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to the association here, tell us about what programs are offered. And I know we don't have too much time, which is so tough, but.
Yeah, so I'll just highlight. So we have a reading and spelling program, both in English and French. We have a math program, which is a math tutoring in English and French as well. And we do counseling, and we have social clubs.
What do you want parents and kids to know if they are struggling, especially as back to school approaches?
You are just learning differently. You know how to learn, you can learn, you're just learning differently.
Mm-hmm. And if people... Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, and we're going to figure that out together.
Yeah, and if people want to access these resources, where should they go?
Yeah, so visit our website, www.ldamanitoba.org.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, well, you know what, taking us into the short week, Rochelle, we'll have a few more of these segments.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing to a lower open on Wall Street. Dow futures are down 92 points. NASDAQ futures are lower too, off by 249 points. S&P futures are also in the red, down 41. The Canadian dollar is down slightly this morning. Overseas, the Hang Seng is down by 120, while Japan's Nikkei is the lone bright spot, up 121 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. The province announced the annual rent guideline for 2026. Landlords will be able to raise rents by as much as 1.8% as of January the 1st. There are some exceptions, such as units already renting for more than $1,670 per month or social housing. Tenants must receive notice at least 3 months in advance and have until 60 days before the new rate takes effect to make a complaint to the Residential Tenancies Board. The future of affordable care on the prairies remains up in the air as Saskatchewan and Alberta have yet to strike a deal with Ottawa to continue $10 a day childcare past this next spring. CTV's Alison Bamford has more on the issues the uncertainty is creating for families.
I love to work. I love where I am.
What started as a part-time job 5 years ago became a full-time passion for Rosemarie Turk.
I'm making an impact in their life, the same as they're making an impact in mine.
Under the federal $10 a day child care agreement, early childhood educators like Turk receive a wage top-up, allowing her to work full-time without requiring a second job. But that could change.
I worry every day, am I going to lose my job?
The agreement expires this coming spring. Saskatchewan and Alberta are the only two provinces that haven't signed a 5-year extension with Ottawa.
These discussions will continue over the next several months, and I can assure you by the 2026 we'll have a new agreement in place. I'm fairly confident of that.
The uncertainty still has Turk lining up a plan B. Like so many families, she too relies on the subsidized daycare for her 4-year-old granddaughter.
And if I lose that, then I lose her daycare space.
And some centers might not be able to operate.
It's hard to plan for the future when you don't know what's coming.
But Kara Steiner says a new deal isn't the golden ticket out of their financial challenges. Under Saskatchewan's current model, funding varies based on when licensed childcare programs started, and Steiner wants every provider to be on the same playing field.
Some are funded at a much lower level than other programs are, and it makes it difficult to provide the same level of quality.
The province plans to review financial supports in place for all child care facilities and says it's ready to renegotiate a deal with the federal government at any time. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
32 Liberal MPs have now issued a letter calling for more to be done to address a rise in anti-Semitism. This comes after a Jewish woman in her 70s was stabbed at an Ottawa grocery store. Ottawa police have charged a 71-year-old with aggravated assault and possession of a dangerous weapon. Police are treating the stabbing as a hate-motivated crime. The letter warns that anti-Semitism is becoming normalized in Canada. Quebec MP Anthony Housefather posted the letter on social media. It reads in part, quote, right now, Jews make up slightly more than 1% of Canada's population, but are the victims of 70% of reported religious-based acts of hate. The Red Crescent Society in Afghanistan now says more than 1,100 people have died from Sunday's earthquake. This is the second day of search and rescue operations. Helicopters are being used to reach isolated villages near the epicenter in eastern Afghanistan. Officials warn the number of deaths will likely rise. There are fears that many are trapped under the rubble. The Taliban has reached out for international aid. Countries like the UK, China, and India have answered the call for relief. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada is ready to provide support. Global Affairs says it's not aware of any Canadian citizens impacted by the earthquake. A Victorian-era mansion in downtown Winnipeg celebrated its 130th birthday.
Oh, good. I'm glad you went in there.
The Dalnavert Museum and Visitor Center held its annual Dalnavert Days celebration over the weekend. The museum has been open for 51 years, but the mansion itself was built 130 years ago. The museum's service manager says experiencing history in person can be more powerful than reading about it.
It's one thing to read about something in a textbook, but having a museum like this that is sort of a day in the lifestyle feel where you get to walk through and you get to experience it all, that really helps bring history to life, and it helps to allow people to understand more about the past so that we can understand how we got to where we are today and hopefully shape a better future.
To mark the anniversary, the museum offered free admission along with a local vendors market, food trucks, and outdoor games. Here's what's happening in traffic along Kenniston and Sterling Lyon. So far, it looks like a pretty smooth drive over here. No updates to give you at this point.
Yeah, and we're looking at the sun rising now, but we've got the heavier clouds over us, so I'm not sure how much of that sun we'll actually get to see today with the heavier clouds that will continuously be stacking up. It's 16 degrees right now with northwest winds 13 clicks. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 97%. Now, it is worth noting that the sun has only just started to rise at 6:45 this morning, so about 6 minutes ago, so it hasn't even made its way above some of the buildings in the downtown area yet, but we are watching the clouds stacking up. There was a bit of precipitation that rolled through last night. That is now currently moving through, well, areas to the east and to the south of us. It kind of moved out in that southeastern corner. Through northern Manitoba, though, the possibility is there of some precipitation as well. And more than just a bit of precipitation, some possible cooling temperatures around Thompson, sitting at 8 degrees right now, but could drop as cool as 5 this afternoon. Other parts of northern Manitoba will certainly notice the cooler weather today, still just kind of lingering in those double digits, or maybe here in the northwest getting a little bit warmer up into the mid-teens. Now, southern Manitoba can also expect below seasonal temperatures, even though our temperatures this morning, kicking things off, are in the mid-teens. And you can compare that to a seasonal low of 8 and say, well, we're well above normal to kick things off. But it'll be the lack of gains that we make today. 21 degrees a normal daytime high. Instead, most of us will be stalling out in those high teens with some heavier clouds and the possibility of some precipitation, although a better chance that we're going to be seeing those showers overnight and through tomorrow. Northwestern Ontario, though, you'll be seeing a lot more of that day side. Even cooler temperatures to come as we continue on through this week. Even soggier weather ahead, especially by Thursday. Straight up rain expected, and then a little more of a warm up to come as we see a bit more sunshine this weekend.
Thank you, Terry. An Ontario woman's move to Prince Edward Island has become a nightmare after the company she hired to move her things demanded full payment before finishing the job. Now she says they're holding her valuable belongings hostage. CTV's Maria Saru has the story.
This is all Amber Booth has of her belongings. A few bags that fit into her car when she drove from Ontario to PEI. She says everything else, including priceless items, are being held hostage by the moving company she hired.
Things like my service medal from when I was deployed overseas. Pictures of my partner's mom who passed away from cancer when she was 12. My entire life is in their hands.
Booth trusted All Canada Van Lines with the move. There was no contract, just a verbal deal. She paid half the quote up front, about $2,200, and she says the plan was to settle the rest later. But then the company called, saying their policy changed. She has to pay the full balance or no delivery. Booth says All Canada Van Lines confirmed their commitment in writing via text, but she's not convinced.
I don't trust that they will, even if I pay them.
A man who identified himself as an assistant accounts manager at All Canada Van Lines confirmed on a phone call that company policy did change after Booth's items were picked up, saying that decision was made to protect the business.
We have been cheated thousands of dollars. That's the reason we made sure that we clear the invoice once they prior to the delivery.
But changing terms is a problematic pattern consumer protection experts say they're all too familiar with.
This is a very unregulated area. I mean, I could just go outside with a pickup truck and say, I'm a moving company and I promise to get your stuff from point A to point B for X amount of dollars.
Booth has complained to the Better Business Bureau and says she's ready to fight this in court, which can be a lengthy process. The Canadian Association of Movers says this situation sounds like a scam. They're warning people to always get commitments in writing and hire companies within their directory so they can enforce their code of conduct. Maria Saru, CTV News, Mount Stewart, Prince Edward Island.
An Ottawa man has officially earned the title of Stairmaster. He set a new world record for most steps on the exercise machine over a 24-hour period. CTV's Josh Morano reports.
Step after step, hour after hour, Hellcat Jaffer is climbing his way to the top of the record books.
I don't feel anything right now. I'm cramping up.
Inside the Good Life Fitness, where he works in Orleans, Jaffer is attempting to break the world record for most steps on a Stairmaster in 24 hours. He needs more than 108,000.
The end was like, all right, it's showtime, and there's no way that I can disappoint this crowd. But the crowd gave me lots of motivation.
Our medical staff was surprised by how well he was doing, and just to see, after a certain point, it becomes a mental battle, and you could just see the determination on his face, and it's something very admirable.
Family, friends, and members of the community cheering him on for hours.
It was just incredible to see. There's a lot of doubt in the beginning, obviously, but people rallied, the energy went up, and he smashed it.
And then, with the clock winding down, a new world record.
My goal was to go to 112, 114, but I fell a little bit short, 111, but still good enough for a world record.
Along the way, Jaffer raising money with proceeds going towards the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa.
He came to the club as a member and is now giving back to the community, and has just broke a world record. I get a shiver down my back just thinking about how inspiring this young man is and what he's showing our new members, what the opportunities they can be. They can be whatever they want, and this is an example of it.
For Jaffer, finishing with 111,000 steps, he says this was more of a mental battle than a physical one, but having his loved ones there to support him was all the help he needed.
They were the ones who were here, throughout the night as well. They didn't sleep as well, right? They were supporting me every step of the way, so I couldn't have done it without them.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Good morning. It is 7 a.m. on Tuesday, September 2nd. We are officially in the month of September now. And coming up a little later in this next hour, author David A. Robertson has a brand new book. It's a kid's book. We're going to find out a little bit more about his year. This is his fourth new book of 2025. So we're going to find out how he does it all and as well find out a little bit more about this brand new book. But first, your headlines. Paying their respects, how the Norwegian hiker found dead in Manitoba is being honored. Plus, parliamentary prep, what's to be expected with Parliament set to resume in a few weeks? And looking back, what some visitors got to learn about the history of Assiniboine Park Zoo. Bringing in Terry now. We had such a beautiful weekend. The weather was fantastic. What a great way to wrap up summer.
Right? That blast of heat reminding us what the summer months are all about. And now then moving into September and a little heads up of what fall is all about, because it will be a little bit cooler, maybe a little bit soggier too. Right now we're just seeing some heavier clouds and still above seasonal temperatures. In fact, 8 degrees, a normal low. We're doubling that that number, kicking things off at 16. With northwest winds 13 kilometers per hour, the pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 97%. You can see the clouds building up out there, blocking the sun, which we were waiting for. 6:45 is when it finally started to rise, when the sky was a little bit clearer, and now that we're actually able to perhaps see it, the heavier clouds have moved in. That chance of showers is there today. Certainly there was some precipitation in the early morning hours that has moved off to the east of us, and that will continue pushing into parts of northwestern Ontario. Another round moving through parts of northern Manitoba could then start to push through central Manitoba into the evening time, and we even have a chance of seeing some of that, if not today, then overnight, and an even better chance that it lingers throughout the day tomorrow. That's just going to be some kind of light scattered shower activity, but then watch how much more organized this system gets as we're looking further into the week. So Thursday could be just a full round of rain across the bottom north right down to the southern border. Heavier rain and cooler temps yet on Thursday. 21 degrees, that would be a normal daytime high. We'll eventually get back to those numbers, but it'll take some time. A little more sunshine through the weekend, and then finally back to seasonal looking ahead to next week. Oh, and our art today. I have nothing to show you because y'all didn't send anything in to me. So if you'd like to see your art on the show, I would love for you to send it to our Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca email address. Whatever it is you're working on, draw, color, paint, send it to us, and we'll be showcasing it here every day.
Thank you, Terry. A memorial service for the Norwegian hiker who went missing and was later found dead was held on Monday. Stefan Skotelvik was a 29-year-old man from Norway who had set out on a hiking journey. He was expected to arrive in York Factory but never made it. His body was later found by a search crew near the area. His family arrived in Winnipeg Friday. Northern and First Nations community members who had met Skotelvik during his travels also attended. His younger sister said he had been searching for a deeper meaning in life.
On the way, he met the people of Canada and fell in love for the ways of living here, together with the First Nation. The respect and love for the nature and the humbleness in how to deal with the greatness of Mother Earth must have been giving Stefan so much answers.
A family spokesperson said Skotelvik's body will be flown back to Norway on Wednesday. A service is also planned at the family's local church. An arson gutted a live music venue in the Exchange District early Friday morning. The city says crews were sent to the Exchange Event Center around 5 o'clock Friday morning. It was declared under control about an hour and a half later, but not before doing some serious damage. The interior appears completely black and sun could be seen coming in through the ceiling. It's also known as the old Sanford Building and Ma's Garage and is a recognized historical building constructed in 1890.
Devastation. Very, very sad that this can happen again so soon after something so heartbreaking with Johnny G's. But on its own, it was still very disheartening to hear that this again is happening early in the morning where really no one is out to see anything of what's happening.
The developer currently has plans to add a 9-story addition with 114 housing units on top of the building. No injuries were reported in the blaze. The Major Crimes Unit is investigating. MPs will return to the House in exactly 2 weeks, the first time the Prime Minister will face off with Pierre Poilievre in the Commons since the election. CTV's Colton Prail on the political mountains and the preparations.
This is the calm before the political storm.
The next 3 months are going to make or break Mark Carney and the Liberals.
For months, the Prime Minister has delayed his biggest promises. Canada's nation-building projects to be announced in the fall. A federal budget not coming until October. Now, with Parliament back in just 2 weeks, sources tell CTV News Mark Carney will meet with both his cabinet and his caucus to prepare.
I think the message will be, keep your focus where it ought to be focused. That is on economic opportunity, that is on building, that is on delivering, and that is on jobs and growth.
But it won't just be the Liberal Party Carney has to answer to. For the first time, he'll face questions from Pierre Poilievre in the House of Commons.
He destroyed a previous Liberal Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, in the House of Commons and through his activities, so he should not be underestimated.
Jobs, the economy, and crime are likely to be targets for the Conservatives. The Liberals have promised new bail legislation in the fall and will unveil their first budget, one which is expected to not only reflect massive increases in military spending, tax cuts and infrastructure investments, but also 15% savings in government departments over the next 4 years.
What they've outlined for reallocation is not going to get us anywhere near what we need in order to meet those NATO targets and get to an operating balance.
It's a significant to-do list for the Liberals when Parliament returns. And on top of it all, Donald Trump's tariffs still in place, and now the effects showing up in negative economic forecasts.
Labor Day is a day where workers march in parades across the country.
We're here just standing together in solidarity with each other, showing support for all the other unions across Ottawa and across the country.
There's been no shortage of labor unrest this year, from the recent Air Canada strike to the ongoing Canada Post talks and a possible teacher strike or lockout in Alberta. Union members say their efforts to get the fair share are being undercut by Ottawa's increased use of binding arbitration. Workers this year are also dealing with fallout from U.S. tariffs, high cost of living, and a tough job market. The leaders of China and Russia are making a show of solidarity at a meeting in Beijing this morning. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin sat down for talks this morning. Xi came away from the talks calling Putin a dear friend. Russia announced it will sell more gas to China, while Beijing says it will offer visa-free travel to Russians for a year. The two leaders will be joined by North Korea's Kim Jong-un. A train believed to be carrying Kim Jong-un was spotted pulling into Beijing this morning. A North Korean motorcade was then seen heading to downtown Beijing. Kim and other world leaders are in China a day before a massive military parade. China is marking 80 years since the formal surrender of Japan at the end of the Second World War. Assiniboine Park offered a glimpse into the history of the zoo over the weekend.
We changed the prairie from natural landscape to cattle pasture.
Visitors to the zoo usually come to see the animals, but with this guided outdoor tour, they got to hear behind-the-scenes stories. The Conservancy's education manager says the idea came from a visit with his own family.
We had everybody from 3 to almost 90, and the stories just started flowing. But I realized my own family is very nostalgic about different things. We all had different experiences at different times in their lives. But it was important to all of us from 3 to almost 90. And if it was my family, I realized, well, that's going to be everybody.
Barrett Miller says the tour focused on people's memories, explaining why and how the memories were made. The zoo history tour wrapped up with Labor Day as its final offering. There's a nationwide effort in New Zealand to help this little guy find love. A woman found this lonely garden snail named Ned while digging in her yard. Ned's shell spirals left, while nearly all other snails have right spiraling shells. As it turns out, he has a rare genetic condition that affects only 1 in 40,000 snails. So that means its reproductive organs don't line up with most others. He's now being kept in a fish tank while a call has been made across the country to find a compatible match. Good luck to Ned. All right, here's a look at what's happening now on McPhillip Street. Looks like a pretty good start so far this morning on Tuesday. Kids go back to school tomorrow, so this is the calm before the storm, per se. All right, let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. Kids get one more day to just sort of relax and get ready, but I'm sure there's lots of anxiety out there.
Yeah, Rochelle, maybe they're having the Tuesday scaries. And when it comes to learning disabilities in our province, Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba is helping greatly with the Barton Learning and Spelling Program, both in French and English. It's also expanding into Brandon with 200 students participating. And lots of kids with that anxiety that we had mentioned. Important for, during the diagnosis process, them to be, parents to be having a chat with the teacher and making sure that the line of communication is there, but maybe keeping that, you know, that space. Stay with us. 7:27, we have another conversation about the programs and ways that you can help your kid.
All right, helpful information. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's how's it feeling out there?
You know, it's not feeling cold, but it's not going to get much warmer than it is right now. So if you dress for this is pretty much what we're going to get through the day today. Heavier clouds have certainly stacked up. I was hopeful that I was going to come out here and see the last little glimpse of sunshine, but no, it's looking pretty gray and overcast at this time. But we did rise a degree from 16. We're now sitting at 17 degrees. North-northwest winds, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 96%. So we went from 16 to 17, where we'll likely hang out for another few hours, and then maybe getting to 18 degrees. But that might be it. 18 is our expected high temperature for today, so only another degree warmer from where we're currently sitting. Now, these morning temperatures, they're well above seasonal. 8 degrees would be a normal low, so kicking off the day well above that, but then not making those gains that would keep us on par with what is normal. 21 degrees, a seasonal daytime high, and that's the number that we're going to miss, not just today, but throughout this week. And with the heavier clouds, there's the possibility of some scattered showers. If not today, we've got a slim chance today, but an even better chance that overnight or through tomorrow we start to see more scattered showers, and then maybe some full-out rain expected to be moving through on Thursday, with even cooler temperatures as they continuously drop out through the middle of the week. It'll rise again toward the weekend, a little more sunshine expected, but we might have to wait until next week before we're back to seasonal temps.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Let's check in now on our question of the day. The Downivert Museum is celebrating 130 years of the mansion's history. So we're asking, what's your favorite museum to visit in Manitoba? And just a quick reminder, our question of the day has moved from Twitter. So now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. All right, we're going to take a break here. This is what's happening on the St. James Bridge. Looks like things are moving quite well over here. We'll be back after this. Good morning, it is 7:16. Manitoba's police watchdog has cleared an officer in the shooting of a man in the middle of rush hour traffic last summer. Police were initially called about a man who had tried to set the gas tank of a truck on fire before walking into traffic at Notre Dame and Arlington Street carrying a knife. The officer and his partner said they attempted to use their tasers and pepper spray, but neither were effective, and when the man lunged at them, he fired a single shot. The report says that is corroborated by witnesses and video surveillance. The man who was shot confirmed most of the details, but maintains he only pulled out the knife after police drew their weapons first. He also said he had consumed meth before the incident. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is confident the country's top court will declare tariffs legal. Bessent said he is preparing a legal brief for the U.S. Solicitor General, who will oversee the government's appeal to the Supreme Court. Trump's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, also slammed the federal appeals court ruling that most of the tariffs are illegal. Navarro warned that if tariffs are struck down, it will be, quote, the end of this country. The court has allowed the tariffs to remain in place through October 14th to give the Trump administration a chance to file an appeal with the Supreme Court. A Manitoban couple ran nearly 800 kilometers to raise awareness about addictions. Samantha Powderhorn and Luther Alexander have been walking since August 17th. They started the Hope Movement walk in Thompson and arrived at the Forks in Winnipeg on Sunday. The walk aimed to raise awareness about addictions and the mental health crisis, especially in northern communities.
I realized that this is the root of the trauma that we face as Indigenous folks. Because it's a lonely, lonely road, and we have to start normalizing sobriety, breaking cycles, getting an education, healthy relationships.
Powderhorn added the walk meant so much to witness and experience, especially with her best friend, Alexander. Here's the look at what's happening on St. Mary's Road. It looks like things are pretty good over here so far. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you have any traffic tips to share, please let us know.
CTV Morning Live Traffic is brought to you by the Winnipeg Humane Society. Your dollars change lives.
Some pretty good news from the world of entertainment. Celebrated Canadian First Nations actor Graham Greene has died at the age of 73.
Oh, Buffalo, Tatanka, Buffalo.
Greene is best known for his Oscar-nominated breakthrough role as Kicking Bird in Kevin Costner's 1990s film Dances with Wolves. Greene also starred in a number of other high-profile feature films such as The Green Mile, Maverick, and Die Hard with a Vengeance, to name a few. His manager has confirmed he died in Stratford, Ontario after a long illness. Tony Hawk is putting a special board up for auction, the one he used to land the first 900 in competition.
I've never been really sentimental about my gear, and like I basically threw away all my trophies through the years, and so to have this remain was actually a surprise.
The 900, a 2.5 revolution aerial spin, made history at the 1999 X Games. For that, he won the Best Trick event. A number of other pieces of his equipment are also going up for sale. The auction begins September 23rd. A Victorian-era mansion in downtown Winnipeg celebrated its 130th birthday.
Glad you went in there.
Down the Vert Museum and Visitor Center held its annual Down the Vert Day celebration over the weekend. The museum has been open for 51 years, but the mansion itself was built 130 years ago. The museum service manager says experiencing history in person can be more powerful than reading about it. Your primetime lineup begins at 7 with back-to-back episodes of The Big Bang Theory. At 8, High Potential takes a novel approach to crime fighting. Then at 9, the competition is heating up on The Amazing Race Canada.
Looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Pretty overcast out there now. We were watching those clouds building up earlier this morning, but now there's nothing but clouds to see as we're taking a look outside. Our temperatures, they budged a degree from our cooler 16 to start out, but we're now sitting at 17, and we're still likely not to make impressive gains through the day. Although, when you compare this to what is normal for this time of year, most of us through southern Manitoba are sitting in the mid to high teens. 8 degrees would actually be a seasonal low temperature, so we're all well above that. Northern Manitoba is more in those mid to high single digits. You'll actually experience even cooler temps today, just barely getting into the double digits or low teens. With some heavier clouds, we're seeing those clouds that have built up now, and that's pretty much what all of us can expect out of today. Not just clouds, even the possibility of a few scattered showers maybe. And these cool temperatures, they'll be right across the entire board today. From northern Manitoba, where I mentioned you'll likely only get up into the double digits, and for us, mid to high teens are likely where we're topping out today. Only a degree or more than we're sitting right now. 18 our expected high, with that chance of showers through the day, but an even better chance overnight and through tomorrow. And some solid round of rain expected on Thursday, with even cooler temperatures yet before we slowly start to warm up, eventually seeing some sunshine and finally getting back to seasonal once we're looking ahead to next week. A beautiful shot of the sun setting out in the Navin area with Apollo there feeding in the foreground. Beautiful shot taken by Lyle. Thanks for sharing this with us. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Amid the ongoing fighting in Gaza, one Canadian man is working to assist his brother, who remains trapped in the enclave. He was recently injured and is now in need of life-saving surgery. CTV's Kamil Karamali has the details and a warning: some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing.
This is the sound of unbearable agony. Bakr Aboljedian taking shrapnel to his torso last week in Gaza, now struggling to survive. Half a world away in his Ontario home, his brother Ahmed.
It's really hard for me to watch it. It's really, really hard to watch it.
In pain, just hearing his brother's cries.
I feel like I'm losing him. I don't want to lose him. I need my brother.
The injury caused by an explosion, damaging Bakr's ability to digest food. Now in need of life-saving surgery that can only be delivered outside Gaza. But the issue is, just like for the roughly 2 million people in the enclave, he can't leave. His family calling us from Gaza during our interview, showing Bakr stable and resting for now. But time is running out.
He is, I think, 45, 47 kilogram right now.
What have doctors in Gaza said about how quickly your brother needs this life-saving surgery?
If he did not get it by 1 month or 1.5 months, then we cannot control his situation anymore.
Ahmed now asking the federal government to help with an immediate medical evacuation, but Ottawa saying that is outside of its abilities.
Each country sets its own entry and exit requirements. Countries surrounding Gaza have closed their borders, making movement out of Gaza extremely difficult. Israel ramped up its strikes in Gaza, killing dozens more Palestinians, including children and aid workers. As Israel increases its drive to occupy the area, a flotilla left Spain to cheers and hope of breaking Israel's aid blockade, while a march took place in Israel this weekend protesting its government's handling of the war. Israel's prime minister maintaining his sights on Hamas, saying they were able to kill a spokesperson of the group's armed wing.
The hospital is the tenants.
Caught between all the politics, Bakr Abu al-Jadian, his family showing us the makeshift hospital he's staying in, created by inflatable tents.
I told him, don't worry, you will be fine. I will get you out.
Ahmed hoping he can keep that promise so that his brother can live to see his nieces soon. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Brantford, Ontario.
Coming up, we're going to learn all about the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba, including their Math Masters program. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's with the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. Kids are going back. Many of them are going back tomorrow. And there's math. Some kids either love it or they hate it, and it could create all kinds of anxiety. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. And especially if you have a summer vacation and you haven't, been doing that long division for quite some time, you might need some help, especially those kids with a learning disability. Andrea Espinal joins us now with the Math Masters program. You're the coordinator. Tell us a little bit about the program.
So we designed a program to support our students with dyscalculia or students with learning disabilities and ADHD that struggle in math, to help them break down the concepts and memorize some math facts in a way that makes sense for how their brain works.
And I'm sure it's quite overwhelming for both the parents and the child who's going through these problems. What does that extra layer look like for a child who's dealing with these struggles?
So there's a lot of anxiety that could come with learning math, especially when it's something you struggle with. So these students can be struggling with number sense, memorizing math facts, and just avoiding math in general.
And you mentioned the overwhelm. When it comes to the problems themselves, what could be going on in a person's mind? A child's mind, I should say.
I think the stress of not understanding and not being able to explain what you don't understand can be really difficult.
And this program, it's only been going on since spring of 2024. Now it's got a wait list, which is really showing the need. How much of a need is there here in Manitoba?
Quite a bit. So we started last spring with 2 students. We did a pilot project, and we're at 70 students for the fall term. So there's quite a significant need.
With that being the case, the parents at home who aren't going to be in the program or are currently on the wait list, what can they do to better support their child?
I think supporting them in breaking down concepts into really small steps and really focusing on repetition, and even teaching your child how to express if they've understood or not, that will make a big difference.
Thank you so much. You can do it. If you're at home and you don't like math, you can do it. Just keep on trucking.
Yeah, or just call them, because it sounds like the phone's already ringing there. Thank you, Ainsley. And it's a good day for the kids to just sort of chill at home for the last day today.
Yeah, one last deep breath before you have to deal with all of the chaos. That goes for motorists too. We should talk about that,
yes,
right? Because
absolutely.
I mean, the streets are nice and quiet right now. People are able to get to work in good time, but tomorrow that'll be an entirely different story.
And then Wednesday even more.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, a lot of kids going back on a staggered entry. I know my kid's not back for a couple of days yet. 17 degrees outside right now with north-northwest winds, 13 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity humidity sitting at 96%. Oh, and we should mention, if we're going to talk about traffic, the fact that school zones are back in effect today. I think we'll be talking more about that tomorrow. But as of yesterday, school zones. Anyway, we're looking at some clouds out there, not much else. And yes, these temperatures, they are a little bit mild to kick things off, but it's the fact that they're not going to be budging much, so that's what's going to keep us below seasonal. It's not these morning temperatures, because 8 degrees would be a seasonal low, and we're well above that right now. But there were the showers now, just some heavier clouds, and we'll see those clouds throughout the day, but we could be seeing more showers developing into the afternoon. And 18 degrees is likely where we'll top out when 21 is normal for this time of year. A bit of a breeze out of the north at about 20 clicks will remain in place overnight as we're dropping down to those seasonal temperatures, with a chance of showers overnight. And a chance of those scattered showers to continue throughout the day tomorrow, with even cooler temperatures expected. 14 degrees and stronger winds out of the north still, but up to 30 kilometers per hour. From there, some heavier, steadier rain could be rolling through on Thursday as temperatures continue to drop off another few degrees. Eventually, we'll make some gains back again, with a little more sunshine expected throughout the weekend, and finally reaching back to those seasonal temperatures once we're looking ahead to next week.
Thank you, Terry. A Winnipeg man is facing multiple arson charges after 2 separate fires Friday. Police say just after 2:30 p.m., the man set his home on fire in the 200 block of Pritchard Avenue. The blast was so strong it blew him out of his living room, and the flames spread to neighboring homes. About 2 hours later, officers say he set another fire, this time in the lobby of an office building, forcing an evacuation. The man then walked into police headquarters and allegedly confessed. A Northern First Nation is suing Manitoba Hydro, saying it has left the community isolated. The lawsuit was filed by the York Factory First Nation, a community nearly 700 kilometers north of Winnipeg, accessible only by a winter road, boat, or plane. The claim alleges Hydro is intentionally creating artificially low water levels on Split Lake, levels that are so low a provincial ferry can't operate. First Nation leaders say the community has had to rely on expensive charter flights and freight boats for supplies. The claim seeks a court injunction ordering Hydro to release more water into Split Lake so that ferry can operate. Hydro declined to comment, saying the matter is before the courts. The Crown Corporation has previously stated it's helping York Factory First Nation by providing boats to help transport people and supplies. No statement of defense has been filed as of Friday, and none of the allegations in the claim have been tested in court. RCMP are asking for help finding a man they say was behind the wheel of a vehicle involved in a fatal crash last fall. The collision on Highway 16, some 25 kilometers northwest of Portage la Prairie, last November, claimed the life of a 50-year-old Winnipeg woman. Mounties allege her vehicle was struck head-on by an SUV that had crossed over the center line. The person in the other vehicle was treated at hospital and released. Investigators are now searching for 48-year-old Kevin Maida-Washing of Winnipeg. He's facing charges including impaired driving, causing death, and unauthorized possession of a firearm. He's believed to be in Winnipeg. Anyone with information is asked to contact Portage RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Hundreds of people are feared dead after a landslide wiped out a village in Sudan's Darfur region. The landslide hit on Sunday following a week of heavy rain. 370 people are dead, according to estimates from the UN. This as the armed group that controls the region says at least 1,000 people were killed, with only one survivor in the village. The group is now asking for humanitarian aid from the United Nations and other international organizations. Nestle has fired its CEO just a year into the job. The sudden firing came after an investigation found Laurent Frexy didn't disclose a romantic relationship with a staffer. Its board chair called the move a necessary decision. The former head of Nestle's Nespresso division takes over as the new CEO. The Sikh community gathered in Winnipeg on Sunday for the annual Nagar Kirtan parade. Crowds gathered at the legislature to celebrate the significance of Sikhism's final guru, now honored through the religion's holy book. This year marked the parade's 25th anniversary in Winnipeg. Organizer Jujar Brar said the event celebrates not only the faith, but also the people who carry it forward.
It's a great way to celebrate our culture, but it's also a great way to celebrate kind of our spot here in Winnipeg. Obviously,
you know, a lot of people, they are born here or moved here from India here, and we kind of established new lives, and it's a celebration of the past that we have and kind of the new culture that we built here in Canada as well.
The parade also featured a free community kitchen, Sikh martial arts demonstrations, and cultural displays. Police in South Korea have installed a human-sized holographic officer in Seoul. It's meant to deter crime. The image is projected onto a panel every 2 minutes from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. AI-powered surveillance cameras are also being used. They're hoping a visible presence will deter crime, since it's impossible to have CCTV and officers everywhere all the time. And here's what's happening now on Pembina Highway. It looks like things are moving quite well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38, while the provincial average is slightly higher at $1.39. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.40. The lowest price in the city is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Right now it is 17 degrees under cloudy skies. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Look outside, a cloudy start to your September. Well, I guess it's the second day of September, but it's still cloudy. 17 degrees, north-northwest winds, 13 clicks, the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 96%. After that blast of summer-like heat that we experienced over the weekend, you're going to notice all throughout this week that things are feeling a little bit cooler, starting to feel a little more like fall, which I suppose is fitting as we're off the long weekend now. But we're going to continuously watch these clouds stacking up and possibly even some scattered showers. Many places across the province could see some precipitation today, and not just precipitation, below seasonal temperatures from single digits to just barely into the double digits or low teens. And then there's Thompson, who, with the asterisk behind your number, you could actually lose a few degrees today, dropping down to about +5, thank goodness, but still 5 degrees with some rain. Northern Manitoba in the northwest here, it looks to be a little bit warmer, but also that possibility of some scattered showers, maybe even a thunderstorm. And that includes through central Manitoba and right down into the south. We're a little bit shy of seasonal when 21 degrees is a normal daytime high, and instead most of us will be topping out in those high teens today, and certainly seeing the heavier clouds, especially here in the southeast, with even a better chance of the precipitation across that eastern border. Now, we too have an even better chance of that shower activity rolling through overnight or into tomorrow, and then another round of rain with even cooler temperatures as we look through the middle of the week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're learning about some of the programs that the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba offers, especially for kids who have a learning disability and are struggling in class. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Michelle. And it's quite timely given back to school where lots of kids heading back there tomorrow. Karen Velthouse joins us. When it comes to screening and testing for a learning disability, this can be quite complex because the actual diagnosis happens, of course, at the doctor's office. You guys do a screening as well. Tell us what that really means to educate our audience.
Sure. So a psych ed assessment or a psychoeducational assessment is the thing that's used to diagnose a learning disability. So a learning disability such as dyslexia, dyscalculia, or dyspraxia, dysgraphia. So those would be the actual diagnosis. What we're doing here now with our Barton Reading and Spelling program is, we're using a screening tool called a Cadence. And what we're able to do is use that tool to pinpoint exactly what grade kids are reading at, so what grade level they're reading at, whereas the psych ed assessment just gives an overall overarching diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. And you guys do this, but within school now, this is something new provincially that they're rolling out?
Right, so our understanding is that there's actually a pilot being launched this year for K-4, and some schools in Manitoba will be having screenings happening for reading, and I've heard some numeracy as well. So it'll really give an opportunity for teachers to understand and know where kids are at.
Mm-hmm. Well, parents too, this must be so challenging for them to see and almost feel helpless. For each child, it's going to be a different experience. How do you deal with that? I mean, even as an educator.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that, we're going to be seeing through the screening tool is that it's going to be normal for us to be kind of looking and seeing where kids are at, kind of pinpointing so that we can find where those gaps are and we can help. And, once we know where we're at, then it's easy to get the help to do that.
Anything else you want people to know real quick?
I think just the fact that, getting kids the help they need is okay. Like it's not a bad thing, right? We want to be able to know where kids are and understand where they're at, and then we can give them those tools. It's so important.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this conversation. Coming up at 8:06, we have another chat with the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. For many Canadian families, Labor Day marks a late summer reset, prompting reflections of a season that always seems to go by so quickly in this country, and reflections that also look to the future. Here's CTV's Maria Saru.
Another splash of sun and one more ice cream cone before class. It's a summer send-off on the Cavendish Boardwalk for some families, but not everyone's ready.
I don't like school. Math and French are not my strong suit, and they just get harder every single year. It's too early.
Others are counting down.
Because we get to see our friends again and meet new people. Because math is very best. Because it makes you learn.
It's the last push for seasonal stores, and end of summer sales are paying off for Mary Maynard from Massachusetts.
So far, so good. I found a sweatshirt for $5, so I'm a bargain hunter. It says, I need my vitamin C, Prince Edward Island.
Shop owners say they saw fewer U.S. tourists this year.
Most tourists here are Canadian.
Despite that drop, foot traffic stayed strong, and the tills kept ringing.
Summer was very good compared to last year.
A steady stream of people from across the country supported these small businesses, like Heather Patterson from Nova Scotia.
This is our annual trip.
And visitors are still rolling in.
We just got here basically for the nature, for the sea.
Islanders and tourists don't have to hang up their flip-flops just yet. The Cavendish Boardwalk will be open a couple more weeks for another scoop or stroll. Maria Sru, CTV News, Cavendish, Prince Edward Island.
Hello there, Wesley Chang with you inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for that, we'll head to the Labor Day Classic for this one. Argos, Ticats, Bo Levi Mitchell airs one out to Keandre Smith, who comes up with a fantastic catch. The throw wasn't exactly on target, but Smith still manages to go all out for the grab. He finished the game with 7 receptions and 171 yards, and he earns your must-see moment from Monday. Today on TSN, we've got a full day of quarterfinal action from the U.S. Open. Carlos Alcaraz, Novak Djokovic, Jessica Pegula, and Aryna Sabalenka are all in action. It all starts as early as 10:30 a.m. Central across the network. That's all from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
All right, I just gave my flowers a little bit of a drink. It was so dry over the weekend, so hot, and it was the long weekend. There was nobody working, so they were in need of a little bit of a thirst quenching. Now here's the thing, I know I've been talking about the possibility of showers, but I don't think even if we do see something, it's not going to be enough to have made up for that hot, dry weekend. 17 degrees right now, heavier clouds hanging over us, north-northwest winds. They're 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 96%. And while there is the chance of some precipitation to come throughout this week, like I said, nowhere near enough in the immediate future, so just catching up from the heat over the weekend, and now we're not going to be feeling that heat. Not only will we have the heavier clouds and the cooler temperatures, that chance of precipitation is there, but it's a slim chance for today. It gets to be a better chance overnight and through tomorrow, and an even better chance on Thursday. Heavier rain expected midweek as the temperatures continue to drop off over the next few days. The warm-up will come again once we're starting to look toward the end of the week and the weekend. The weekend looks a little bit brighter, a little more sunshine ahead, and finally Monday into next week is when those temperatures could return to seasonal.
Manitoba author David A. Robertson has released a brand new book, the 6th and final book in his Missawa fantasy series. The kids' book is titled The World's End, and it's officially being launched Thursday at McNally Robinson. Joining us now is author David A. Robertson. Good morning, David.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice to see you again. Now let's go through this year in 2025. It's been a big year.
Yeah.
You wrote a memoir, All the Little Monsters, which was about anxiety.
Yeah.
The nonfiction book, 52 Ways to Reconcile.
Yeah.
And then a kids' picture book about residential schools titled Little Shoes.
Yes.
And now this one.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. How are you feeling that you're done this 6th and final book in this series?
Yeah, well, a little bit of an overextension, maybe, of capacity, but I'm excited about this one. You know, I've been working on this series since probably 2018, planning it, and the first one came out 2020, The Barren Grounds, which has been really popular and remains popular, and yeah, this is the kind of the end of the journey. So it's been this 6-book kind of fantasy epic portal story where we follow these 2 foster kids who are just going on adventures every book and meeting new creatures and going on new adventures to try and save the world every time. And it's been really fun to be a part of it, and it's kind of sad for it to be over now.
But yet a relief at the same time, right? That you're finally able to tell this story in its full content.
Yeah, it's a relief. It's bittersweet. You know, you get to know the characters really well. You care about them so much, and then you kind of say goodbye, but then they live on with the readers, which is also a really nice thought to have.
Yeah, and what I think is really cool about this process, like I was just talking to you about this off camera. In the beginning of the book, you actually have the map of what's going on, and many fantasy books do have a map like this. You actually drew this map ahead of time, sort of put the legend in your mind by drawing it out like this.
Yeah, so so this book has all the maps in one. But I drew a big map like this one for the beginning of the series, and it's just so the readers can they can picture where the characters are all the time, all the places that they go, but also for me to kind of keep track of where they are and when they're going where, and so I don't get confused. It's like all the continuity problems of writing a series.
And I feel that you constantly go back to that first page to sort of follow along with the story, which is important to tell.
Yeah.
How does it feel being here, having written 4 different books? You've been basically touring the country, taking your books along with you. How are you handling all of this?
I mean, it's part of the job, and I'm used to it. So it's fun. I love going out. I love talking about the books. I love meeting people. I love going to events. It's tiring, but the summer I got a lot of rest, and so this fall I'm out quite a bit until December. Just promoting the books and talking about the things that I have going on, and I'm in a couple of anthologies this year too, and I'm promoting those as well. And so in January I might take a month or 2 off again to recharge and before you're gonna go back and do it all over again next year.
But you're looking at 4 new books again next year, which is just wild. Yeah. This book is being officially launched at McNally Robinson. Tell us about, we're almost out of time already, but tell us about some of the issues you explore in this series.
Well, this book has a lot of contemporary historical issues. It deals with really colonialism, environmental protection, foster care. This book in particular deals with, the Otek people and the history of Eastern Canada. So if people want to look that up, it's a really important history to learn about the genocide of those people. But it also is about traditional stories and what they offer to everybody. And that's the magic of this series, is really our traditional storytelling as Indigenous people on Turtle Island.
All right, well, congratulations on the new book, The World's End. It is officially launching at McNally Robinson on Wednesday. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Coming up, we're going to learn a little bit more about Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba, the important work they do to get your kids on track before and after they return to the classroom. Stay with us. It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy birthday to Uma, with love from your family and friends. Happy birthday to Mark. Lots of love from Darcy, Zach, Xander, Izzy, and Oreo. Happy 12th birthday to Carter. Love Mom, Dad, Kingsley, and Abby. Happy 7th anniversary to Lesson Teens, with love from all your family. Happy birthday to Joey, with love from your family and BBM. And a happy 20th anniversary to Barry and Ellen, with love from your family and friends. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's celebrate. Brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. It's the last day off for many kids today. Ainsley McPhail is going to tell us a little bit more about the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba and what they do to keep our kids on track, especially if they struggle with a learning disability. But first, your headlines. Norwegian hiker remembered. Family and communities gather to honor his life and search for meaning. Plus, genocide scholars issue resolution. Are Israel's strikes in Gaza legal under international law? And Zoo Secrets revealed a family visit inspires a tour full of surprises. Bringing in Terry, it was a good weekend to just be outside. It was hot.
It was hot.
So sunny. It was
right?
Lovely.
It's like so long summer, just making his presence known before we're ushering in the next season. Although technically, I mean, I just suppose it depends on what you follow. I always go with the, equinox, the September 21st ushering in of fall. But there is something known as the meteorological fall, which began yesterday, September 1st. We've got some heavier clouds hanging over us right now, and it is going to be on the cooler side, but not because of these morning temperatures. Our morning temperatures are actually well above seasonal. 8 degrees would be a normal low. We're coming in at 17. There's a north-northwest wind, 13 clicks, with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 96%. So yeah, meteorological fall, I can't even say the word, which is why I never tend to talk much about it. Meteorological fall, September, October, November, and then switching into winter for December, what comes after that? December, January, February. Coming off the long weekend, aren't we all a little bit scrambled? Back to school, kids. You got to get it together. Me too, apparently. Anyway, we've got some heavier clouds that will be moving in, and we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of sunshine today. We may see a little bit of scattered precipitation, better chance across northern Manitoba and further to the east of us. But as the day goes on, you're going to see the system pushing through central Manitoba, and then overnight, we could be getting touched with those showers lingering into tomorrow as well. Then on Thursday's rain will be a little bit different because while that over the next couple of days, very scattered, not very organized. What's going to be coming through on Thursday from northern Manitoba right down to the south, you can see this band of rain. That's going to be passing on through, and their coolest temperatures will actually come as that moves through. So down to just barely double digits versus the high teens that we'll kick off the week with, but 21 degrees, that's normal for this time of year. We'll eventually get back there after seeing a little more sunshine this weekend. Mercury returning to those seasonal values as we look ahead to next week. I have no art to show you. What a sad day it is. Maybe you'd like to send me some art. Put a smile on my face. We'd love to see what you're working on. Draw, color, or paint. Send that picture to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. A memorial service for the Norwegian hiker who went missing and was later found dead was held on Monday. Stefan Skotelvik was a 29-year-old man from Norway who had set out on a hiking journey. He was expected to arrive in York Factory but never made it. His body was later found by a search crew near the area. His family arrived in Winnipeg on Friday. Northern and First Nations community members who had met Skotelvik during his travels also attended. His younger sister said he had been searching for a deeper meaning in life.
On the way, he met the people of Canada and fell in love for the ways of living here, together with the First Nation. The respect and love for the nature and the humbleness in how to deal with the greatness of Mother Earth must have been giving Stefan so much answers.
A family spokesperson said Skotelvik's body will be flown back to Norway on Wednesday. A service is also planned at the family's local church. The world's biggest academic association of genocide scholars says Israel is committing genocide in Gaza.
They were committing atrocities across all 5 types of the definition of genocide. And the threshold for genocide is only one of those.
The Scholars Association passed a resolution saying the legal criteria have been met. This comes after Israel launched strikes across the Gaza Strip on Monday, killing at least 31 people. The International Association of Genocide Scholars is the world's largest professional association of genocide scholars and includes a number of Holocaust experts. Out of its 500 members, 28% took part in the vote, and 86% of those who voted supported the resolution. Israel rejected the report, saying it was based on lies and poor research, calling it a, quote, embarrassment to the legal profession. Assiniboine Park offered a glimpse into the history of the zoo over the weekend.
We changed the prairie from natural landscape to cattle cut.
Visitors to the zoo usually come to see the animals, but with this guided outdoor tour, they got to hear behind-the-scenes stories. The Conservancy's education manager says the idea came from a visit with his own family.
We had everybody from 3 to almost 90, and the stories just started flowing. But I realized my own family is very nostalgic about different things. We all had different experiences at different times in their lives. But it was important to all of us from 3 to almost 90. And if it was my family, I realized, well, that's going to be everybody.
Barrett Miller says the tour focused on people's memories, explaining why and how the memories were made. The zoo history tour wrapped up with Labor Day as its final offering. And here's what's happening now on Kenaston Boulevard. Looks like things are moving well over here to start off this Tuesday morning. If you see any issues out on the streets, please let us know.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. They're getting ready for back to school there as well. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. And we've talked so many times on this show about the summer reading slide, but for some kids, it's a little bit extra challenging. Jen Anderson joins us, and she's going to tell us about the Barton Reading and Spelling Program here. It's helping over 200 people. Let's talk about the program itself and what it does.
Absolutely. So the Barton Reading and Spelling System is designed to help students who have either suspected or diagnosed learning disabilities improve their reading and spelling skills.
And what should parents look out for when it comes to reading and, say, dyslexia?
So you may notice that your child is struggling with sight words, having a hard time maybe guessing at words, and is not keeping up with their peers when it comes to reading and spelling.
And what can be done for a parent going through this or even seeing these challenges in a child?
Well, of course, trying to see if there's support at school, and then also, too, there are programs that are multisensory, like the Barton Reading and Spelling System and others, that can help them develop strategies and skills to make it easier for them to read and spell.
And some good news, you guys are expanding. Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are bringing our tutoring to Brandon, and so now we do have that to offer there, and we're hoping to expand that more as there's definitely a need.
And for French-speaking students as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's great. We're able to provide it in both languages now, which is super exciting.
Yeah. And we mentioned kids, of course, with it being so timely with back to school, but you're helping adults.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a system that requires a great deal of you have to really commit to it and that sort of thing, and it can be challenging for adults who have busy lives, but it is something that can really help build their confidence and in various aspects of their lives. And if they want to learn more, they can reach out to us and we can give them more information about it.
Thank you so much. And I really do hope that people reach out to those resources that are available to them. We're going to have another conversation at 8:38.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. There was a time the NDP was seen as the loudest champion for Canadian workers, but their support has now shifted to other parties. CTV's Jeremy Sharon now on where it's gone and what it means for the New Democrats as Parliament resumes and gets back to business in a couple of weeks.
It was clear months ago on the campaign trail. The biggest political battleground isn't in Ottawa, but in warehouses and factories around the country.
Support of the average working Canadian family is definitely up for grabs.
The support of union workers, once strongly held by the NDP, has shifted. An election collapse for the New Democrats, including in union-heavy ridings, means the party currently without a leader has to change its approach to win back that support, says former party leader Tom Mulcair.
The NDP has to understand that at its very base, you had the labor movement. And they've been taking that for granted, figuring that organized labor would just stay with them.
But they didn't, and both the Liberals and the Conservatives are looking to keep what they took from the NDP.
Conservatives increasingly have realized how to speak to these voters better.
Former communications director to Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, Ben Woodfindon, believes the Conservative Party has connected best with working class voters.
I think the Conservatives have a real opening here to kind of really solidify their place with these working class voters and show that they are the party that has workers' interests.
Well, the Liberal Party is trying to make that pitch too.
I think it's about understanding how the labor movement has changed as well.
Though the government's intervention in countless work stoppages, Air Canada being the latest, has earned them criticism from some public sector unions, something this strategist says they'll have to face.
It's really about being honest and creating those relationships that maybe weathered under Justin Trudeau.
The latest data from Stats Canada shows there are more than 5 million unionized workers in the country, a number parties are keenly aware of as they look to solidify the union vote.
All right, we're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Those heavy clouds, they moved in earlier this morning before the sun was even up, so we never really did get to see much of that sun today, and we likely won't be seeing a whole lot of it. Not for the first half of this week. We might do a little bit better into the coming weekend, so I hope you made the most of this past weekend with all of that sunshine and all of that heat. My goodness, it was a blast of it for sure. A last blast of summer, and now it's starting to feel like fall. Temperature-wise, we're actually back down a degree. We were at 17, now at 16 degrees here in Winnipeg with similar temperatures all throughout the south. Just for a reference point, though, 8 degrees would be a seasonal low temperature. So I know you might be thinking it's a little bit cool, but technically these morning temperatures are not cooler than you would expect this time of year, although a bit of a different story across parts of northern Manitoba where you're still sitting in the single digits. And in places like Thompson, you might even see that temperature drop off throughout the day today. I talked about the heavier clouds that were building up through the morning, and now it's just looking pretty gray and overcast. There's even the possibility of some scattered showers across northern Manitoba and then pushing through central Manitoba into the south later today. At least that chance is there. And a look at how the temperatures will rise, or not much, today. And noontime still sitting in those mid to high teens or just barely into the double digits for some parts of northern Manitoba. It'll be single digits throughout. Getting up to about 18 degrees, that's likely where we'll top out here in Winnipeg, so only up a couple degrees from where we're sitting right now, and that'll keep us below the seasonal 21 degrees, but it only gets cooler over the next few days and soggier too. If we don't see those showers today, there's a better chance overnight and through tomorrow, and some heavier, steadier rain expected on Thursday. A cool high of 11 degrees. It will eventually warm up, looking a little bit brighter for the weekend, and then finally back to those seasonal temperatures once we're looking ahead to next week.
Good morning. For many Canadian families, Labor Day marks a late summer reset, prompting reflections of a season that always seems to go by so quickly in this country, and reflections that also look to the future. Here's CTV's Maria Saru.
Another splash of sun and one more ice cream cone before class. It's a summer send-off on the Cavendish Boardwalk for some families, but not everyone's ready.
I don't like school. Math and French are not my strong suit, and they just get harder every single year.
It's too early.
Others are counting down.
Because we get to see our friends again and meet new people. Because math is the very best. Because it make you learn.
It's the last push for seasonal stores, and end of summer sales are paying off for Mary Maynard from Massachusetts.
So far, so good. I found a sweatshirt for $5, so I'm a bargain hunter. It says, I need my vitamin C, Prince Edward Island.
Shop owners say they saw fewer U.S. tourists this year.
Most tourists here are Canadian.
Despite that drop, foot traffic stayed strong, and the tills kept ringing.
Summer was very good compared to last year.
A steady stream of people from across the country supported these small businesses, like Heather Patterson from Nova Scotia.
This is our annual trip.
And visitors are still rolling in.
We just got here basically for the nature, for the sea.
Islanders and tourists don't have to hang up their flip-flops just yet. The Cavendish Boardwalk will be open a couple more weeks for another scoop or stroll. Maria Sru, CTV News, Cavendish, Prince Edward Island.
Do you love wine and a little VIP luxury? Then this is for you. We're giving away a Champagne Lounge VIP experience to the Winnipeg Wine Festival each week. That's for you and 3 friends at the RBC Convention Centre on September 26th and 27th. Enjoy exclusive wine tastings and support the Special Olympics while you're at it. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word, taste.
Well, the kids head back to school this week, and after the fun of summer, it's time to get back into a routine. With some ideas to help, we're joined this morning by lifestyle expert Nikki Anastasakis. Thanks for joining us this morning, Nikki.
Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, now that school is starting, how can we speed up meal prep and still make something delicious that the kids want to eat?
Yes, first item is the Ninja Crispy. This is a portable air fryer, all in one unit. Makes it really easy to cook.
Yeah.
Fun meals for the family or for a party. It comes with 6-cup and 4-quart Tempware container, which is a really great glass container that withstands extreme temperature changes, so you can go right from frozen to crispy. It also comes with these incredible lids, which I love because you can cook directly in the glass and then seal it up and put it right into your fridge. No extra dishes required. So many different features on this. You can crisp, bake, reheat, recrisp. It's perfect. Available at ninjakitchen.ca.
So it's versatile, it's handy, and it's easy. I like all of that. That sounds good. Now, Nikki, when the kids are back to school, it's also a good time to get back to our own personal routines. What are some good self-care items you can share with us?
Yeah, the next item I have is the Shark Cryo Glow LED face mask. This is officially available in Canada, and it's tested skincare results through advanced LED light therapy combined with infrared cooling technology, and it can target, skin issues such as under eye puffiness, acne, wrinkles, things like that. People have noticed tighter under eyes immediately, clearer skin within 4 weeks of using this, and firmer skin in 2 months. So it's very effective for aging, acne, glow enhancement, and it comes with 4 different settings and features as well. That's available at sharkclean.ca.
That's great. I've heard great things about products like that. So that looks fantastic too. Now, lastly, this is important. When it comes to hair care, Nikki, now that moms might have more time to take care of their hair, what help can you suggest for us?
Yeah, this is the Shark Glam Hot Tool Hair Styler. As you can see, it can go from different devices. This is the blow dryer setting. You can also do curling, flat ironing, giving a nice blow-it effect with this tool. This is really, really great from going from wet hair to dry hair, and it doesn't damage. It essentially just uses hot air to style your hair. It also has a Shark Glossy Styler for ultra-fast, bouncy blows and maximum gloss, which I really love. It's kind of different than the other tools similar on the market. So 2 times more shine versus air drying. And so this is a really fun one, sharkclean.ca as well. Great for all the moms that are looking for a little pick-me-up now that kids are back to school.
And who doesn't want that, whether you're a mom or not? That sounds fantastic. Nikki, as always, your tips are fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, feeling a little bit misty out here. I'm noticing there's just like a little specklings of precipitation touching my cheeks right now. Heavier clouds, they're certainly hanging around and have been all morning long. And the cooler temperatures, well, those are expected to last throughout the day today. Not that they're cool for what is a normal morning temperature. We're actually well above that. A seasonal low of 8 degrees, and we're doubling that at 16 now. But the breeze is out of the north-northwest, 20 kilometers per hour, with the pressure rising. The humidity is sitting at 94%. And like I said, just feeling a little bit misty. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of that precipitation today. The chance is certainly there across the province. Nearly everybody has that possibility of some scattered showers today, but that chance increases overnight and throughout tomorrow here in the south. And then it gets even better of a chance on Thursday with some heavier rain likely to move through. And throughout this week, as cool as today might be, a couple degrees shy of seasonal, it'll actually get cooler tomorrow and even more so on Thursday with that steadier rain moving through. From there, middle of the week is going to be the coolest and wettest day, and we'll start to see things drying out, looking a little bit brighter. The weekend itself will see some more sunshine returning, but it still could take until the start of next week till we're back to seasonal temps.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Many studies have shown the benefits of exercise for seniors, but they generally used strict formal workout routines. Now, a new study from McMaster University shows even informal exercises can provide benefits. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan explains.
The McMaster U study looked at more than 120 seniors who completed a minimum of 1 year in their PACE fitness program.
Participants who are enrolled in the program are prescribed a combination of both aerobic and resistance training. They were encouraged to attend the program at least twice a week, accumulating a minimum of 30 minutes of aerobic exercise at a moderate to vigorous intensity.
Statistics show at least 60% of our older population leads a sedentary lifestyle, so the aim of the study was to explore sustainable and practical forms of exercise, and the results were striking.
Men experienced slower than expected declines in cardiorespiratory fitness, while cardiorespiratory fitness among women actually improved over time. Strength is one of the most important determinants of independence, quality of life, maintaining function, and reducing risk of disease.
Angelica McQuarrie says another important element was the social interaction, where participants were with a group of peers based on similar lived experiences of chronic health conditions.
It's a non-intimidating environment like a typical gym setting might be.
In addition, they had the socialization and support of McMaster undergrad volunteers.
Many of the participants will say that the students inspire them, and then the students will reciprocally say that about the participants.
And so in making recommendations to policymakers and health agencies,
that's what we would propose, that the social component is important in having folks return and complete the exercise time after time.
McQuarrie says costs such as gym memberships or transportation can be a barrier for the elderly, as can attitudes.
A lot of folks might think perhaps it's too late to start exercise if they've never done so before. It's truly never too late for folks to get started, and the impact that it can have on their health and their daily life is quite significant.
McQuarrie says while developing healthy exercise habits is important for the young, it's equally important for the old. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
And Manitoba chicken producers with Josephine Arma. Josephine, this is a big month for Manitoba chicken, isn't it?
It is. We are celebrating National Chicken Month, which is held in September. And we just want to take a moment to thank all of our hardworking farmers who work year-round to provide local Manitoba chicken.
All right, so we're celebrating with a delicious recipe, and I'm telling you, delicious. What is it that we're going to be making today?
All right, Terry, so today we're going to be making our Southwest chicken burritos, which is such a great, easy meal to make. So let's get into it right away.
Okay, so in the bowl already, we've got our chicken chopped up. What did we do to prepare this?
For sure. So in our bowl here, we have 2 chicken breasts that we've cubed up really nicely, and we're going to be adding a bit of taco seasoning. So this is just taco seasoning that you can find in your pantry, which is really easy and great.
Yep.
We also have some olive oil to add in there, some corn and some onions that we're going to add in here as well.
Oh, a lot of great red onion. It has a little bit of sharpness to it.
Yes, a lot of great toppings, and of course some beans as well. And then I'm going to
get the fiber in.
Some salsa, so just to kind of spice it up a little bit as well.
All of these flavors, they look so good. And I love when we start getting all of the different colors in the bowl as well. This is like a rainbow of delight.
Yes, so we're going to just mix it all up and combine it together, and just get all those spices and salsa mixed up, which looks really good. And then I'm going to demo how to roll a burrito. So this is really exciting for us.
So just so I'm clear, there's no actual cooking involved with this now, right? So if you do up the chicken in advance, this just comes together this easily?
That's exactly right. So I like to do this on Sundays. I like to cut up and cube a lot of chicken, and that way I have it throughout the week and I can make different recipes. So today we're doing our Southwest chicken burritos, but we have many more at our website. So what I'm going to do here is scoop some of our mixture, and I'm going to add it to the center here, just like that.
Now, one trick here is you can't overstuff these, right? I mean, for me and my son, when we're making these, his eyes are always bigger than his stomach, or it's more his eyes are bigger than the wrap allows, right? And then you run into trouble. So probably better off to go like a little bit.
Just a little bit. Right. You don't want to overdo it. And so I'm just going to add some of our cheddar cheese here and then some nice fresh cilantro.
I'm like the more the merrier when it comes to cilantro. I know that that's, you know, a touch and go. Some people love it, some people don't. Bring it on. It's so fresh.
All right, so we're going to just demo how to do how to wrap the burrito. So I'm just going to bring this over here, tuck in the sides just like that, and roll it. And there's our finished product. You can also use a panini press if you'd like to just get some nice grill marks on it.
That's what you've done right over here, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So for this recipe and more, you can visit manitobachicken.ca.
Looks delicious. Josephine, thanks so much, and happy Chicken Month. Yes, over the weekend when we were feeling that heat, it was still screaming summer, and now just a couple of days later, and it's starting to look and feel like fall. Well, I don't know what fall looks like. It doesn't look... It looks usually with colored leaves, but right now I'm talking about the clouds. Gray and gloomy. But I'm not saying that's indicative of fall. We're going to get some nicer weather, just perhaps not over the next couple of days. Things will be on the cooler side for sure. It's 16 degrees right now with north-northwest winds, 20 clicks. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 94%. I don't think we've seen too much yet in the way of changing colored leaves, but certainly the cooler temperatures will start to make that happen over the rest of this week, below seasonal for a stretch of days, and today lacking in sunshine. As you can see, we've already got the clouds that have built up. There's even the possibility of some showers. I was noticing things getting a little bit misty when I was up on the rooftop 10 minutes ago. And yes, cool, not necessarily with the morning temps, but this afternoon 18 degrees will keep us shy of seasonal. 21 degrees, that would be a normal daytime high, and then 8 a seasonal low. So that's what we're falling to overnight, with that chance of showers continuing. North winds at about 20 kilometers per hour will get a little bit stronger tomorrow, and an even better chance of those showers to continue through the day. Even cooler temperatures are expected for tomorrow, but it gets even cooler yet on Thursday. Thursday with an even better chance of rain. That will be the coolest, wettest day of the week. From there, it slowly starts to warm up. It also starts to clear out, getting a little bit brighter as we're moving through the weekend, and then a little bit warmer as we're looking ahead to next week, reaching that seasonal 21 degrees by Monday.
Thanks, Terry. A Winnipeg man is facing multiple arson charges after 2 separate fires Friday. Police say just after 2:30 p.m., the man set his home on fire in the 200 block of Pritchard Avenue. The blast was so strong, it blew him out of his living room, and the flames spread to neighboring homes. About 2 hours later, officers say he set another fire, this time in the lobby of an office building, forcing an evacuation. The man then walked into police headquarters and allegedly confessed. An arson gutted a live music venue in the Exchange District early Friday morning. The city says crews were sent to the Exchange Events Center around 5 o'clock Friday morning. It was declared under control about an hour and a half later, but not before doing some serious damage. The interior appears completely black, and the sun could be seen coming in through the ceiling. It's also known as the Old Sanford Building and Moz Garage, and is a recognized historical building constructed in 1890.
Devastation. Very, very sad that this can happen again so soon after something so heartbreaking with Johnny G's. But on its own, it was still very disheartening to hear that this again is happening early in the morning, where really no one is out to see anything of what's happening.
The developer currently has plans to add a 9-story addition with 114 housing units on top of the building. No injuries were reported in the blaze. The Major Crimes Unit is investigating. Kids head back to school this week, which means school speed zones are once again in effect. Drivers should watch for signs and slow to 30 kilometers an hour within the posted zones. The reduced speed school zone areas are in force Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. from September through June. If you're caught speeding in these areas, you could face a fine of at least $200 and move down 2 levels on the driver's safety rating scale. RCMP are asking for help finding a man they say was behind the wheel of a vehicle involved in a fatal crash last fall. The collision on Highway 16, some 25 kilometers northwest of Portage la Prairie, last November, claimed the life of a 50-year-old Winnipeg woman. Mounties allege her vehicle was struck head-on by an SUV that had crossed over the center line. The person in the other vehicle was treated at hospital and released. Investigators are now searching for 48-year-old Kevin Maida-Washing of Winnipeg. He's facing charges including impaired driving, causing death, and unauthorized possession of a firearm. He's believed to be in Winnipeg. Anyone with information is asked to contact Portage RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Indigenous leaders from across the country will meet in Winnipeg this week for the Assembly of First Nations annual meeting.
I look forward to chiefs having those discussions and to hearing their thoughts, their views.
The annual General Assembly will begin tomorrow with the major projects law expected to dominate discussions. The AFN's national chief says it will be an opportunity for chiefs to plan their response to the recently passed Building Canada Act, which allows the federal cabinet to designate projects and exempt them from various laws in order to fast-track the approval process. These days, you can't get far without hearing about the latest developments in artificial intelligence. In the digital age, technology is constantly evolving, which might be a way for some of us or wanting to go back to basics. CTV's John Venevalley-Rao tells us about a nostalgic revival.
For some, it's the love of that vintage sound. Others, the simplicity of it all. A relic that used to be tossed in the trash, instead being treasured.
It's got this beautiful kind of click, clack, clack, and it's just so wonderful to hear that.
Chris Edmondson runs an actual typewriter shop, what in the 21st century may seem surprising.
They're, in a way, industrial art.
He says business has never been better.
When we first started this, we would sort of be excited and happy to sell maybe one every couple weeks. Come in and pick up your typewriter.
But some weeks he says he can now sell between 5 to 10 machines, with customers paying hundreds, even thousands of dollars for them.
This sort of stuff is vintage.
Edmondson bought his first typewriter as a hobby, but 5 years ago quit his job in IT to sell and repair them full-time. He says some prefer them over computers. No pop-ups, no distractions, just ink and your imagination.
It's become a therapy for a lot of people who haven't been able to find a way to disconnect from this crazy world that we live in and just simply be with their thoughts and write them on paper.
I love you. Taylor Swift tapped into the trend, typing on a vintage machine in her music video for Fortnite, generating interest among the younger set. And Tom Hanks is a huge typewriter enthusiast, helping to boost their popularity.
What's here? Let me show you.
Martin Howard brought us to the basement of his Toronto home.
Here are some of my beauties.
To show us his personal collection.
They're all from the 1880s and 1890s.
For more than 30 years, he's researched and restored some of the world's earliest typewriters. He has 75 of them, the biggest such collection in the country.
I found my first typewriter in a junk shop in Aurora, and it was a Calligraph 2 from 1886, and my course was set.
Howard pleased to see the old machines get renewed interest from the likes of Swift.
It makes it hip is what it does. It makes it really hip, and it allows people to consider buying them.
Machines once muted, again making noise and tapping out a new chapter. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
And here's a look now at what's going on Donald Street. Looks like things have moved pretty well this morning. No issues to tell you about in traffic. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38. The provincial average is higher at $1.39. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.40. The lowest price in Winnipeg, $1.27. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's check in now on our question of the day. The Dalnavert Museum is celebrating 130 years of the mansion's history. So we asked you, what's your favorite museum to visit in Manitoba? Susan says Seven Oaks Museum is one of her favorites. Thank you, Susan. Brett likes the Manitoba Museum. Yes, one of my favorite places indeed in this province. And Carol tells us she has beautiful memories of 61 Carleton when she was just about 7 or 8 years of age. She says her great-grandfather, Eugene Brouillard, owned it then and lived there. Her family would visit him there. He changed it into a rooming house. Of course, 61 Carleton eventually became the Delnavert Museum. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're learning all about the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba and kids as they get ready to go back to school. Parents can watch out for some signs that their kids might need a little bit of help. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. And there are resources available here at the Learning Disabilities Association of Manitoba. Jordan Barnes joins us. Now, we talked about the academics behind it, but socially, you yourself are a social worker, there's a lot that can be done, and you guys have programs.
Absolutely. So the thing that I always emphasize is that academic challenges and social challenges are inextricably linked. Reading in front of your peers is going to generate stress, anxiety, self-esteem stuff. So creating a space like Social Stars, our program coming up this October, where kids can get some positive validation, they can get some social experience outside of the classroom. It can help socially, can also help academically.
And you've got some niche programs going on. I'll let you explain what I mean.
Absolutely. So we always try to not replicate the classroom, but create new and unique environments for learning. So we have Lego Club, where competitive and cooperative Lego challenges are where we're teaching skills. We also have Dungeons and Dragons, which is really creative and has people making friends in ways that are not necessarily how they're going to do it other parts of life.
In my opinion, the social skills are so underrated, especially when we're going into a school setting. What benefits have you tangibly seen in the children?
It's hard to name just one. I think an increased ability to self-regulate, a confidence. There was a kid in our social program recently who came in and his first thing he said to me was, "I'm doing a magic show." And I worked with him for a while and I don't think he could have done that when he first started. So that ability to take on a new challenge, I mean, that's going to help him in the classroom too, right?
In the classroom, out of the classroom, and it's all work that you guys here in this room are doing, in this building are doing. Thank you so much for your time. Lots of resources, whether it be the Barton Learning and Spelling Program, and so much more here. So head to a link on our website for more details.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's not officially fall yet, but it certainly feels like it compared to the weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. That blast of heat over the weekend was kind of perfectly timed out for a last hurrah at summer before kids are headed back to school this week. And now with the transition of schedules comes the transition of weather as well. Cooler temperatures are expected all throughout this week, but we will eventually be getting back to seasonal temps by next week. It's just a 1-week dip. I don't think we're going to be seeing this transition straight into fall-like weather. Well, I mean, it will feel it's certainly going to feel fall-like this week. Anyway, we can talk about next week as we get closer to it, but I think we'll see a turnaround yet. Anyway, 16 degrees right now with north-northwest winds, 20 clicks, the pressure rising, humidity sitting at 94%. We've got the heavier clouds over us, the possibility of some precipitation. Earlier on, I was noticing a little bit of mist. I'm not seeing or feeling that right now, but we do have that chance of some precipitation throughout the day today. A better chance through central and northern Manitoba, and a better chance that we see it overnight and through tomorrow, with even cooler temperatures to come. Each day up until about Thursday gets a little bit cooler yet, with Thursday expected to be not just the coolest but the soggiest as well. After that, it will be a slow ascent to some slightly milder temperatures, a little more sunshine this weekend, and back to seasonal for next week. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning, it's 8:45. An Ontario woman's move to Prince Edward Island has become a nightmare after the company she hired to move her things demanded full payment before finishing the job. Now she says they're holding her valuable belongings hostage. CTV's Maria Saru has the story.
This is all Amber Booth has of her belongings. A few bags that fit into her car when she drove from Ontario to PEI. She says everything else, including priceless items, are being held hostage by the moving company she hired.
Things like my service medal from when I was deployed overseas. Pictures of my partner's mom who passed away from cancer when she was 12. My entire life is in their hands.
Booth trusted All Canada Van Lines with the move. There was no contract, just a verbal deal. She paid half the quote up front, about $2,200, and she says the plan was to settle the rest later. But then the company called, saying their policy changed. She has to pay the full balance or no delivery. Booth says All Canada Van Lines confirmed their commitment in writing via text, but she's not convinced.
I don't trust that they will, even if I pay them.
A man who identified himself as an assistant accounts manager at All Canada Van Lines confirmed on a phone call that company policy did change after Booth's items were picked up, saying that decision was made to protect the business.
We've been cheated thousands of dollars. That's the reason we made sure that we clear the invoice one day prior to the delivery.
But changing terms is a problematic pattern consumer protection experts say they're all too familiar with.
This is a very unregulated area. I mean, I could just go outside with a pickup truck and say, I'm a moving company and I promise to get your stuff from point A to point B for X amount of dollars.
Booth has complained to the Better Business Bureau and says she's ready to fight this in court, which can be a lengthy process. The Canadian Association of Movers says this situation sounds like a scam. They're warning people to always get commitments in writing and hire companies within their directory so they can enforce their code of conduct. Maria Saru, CTV News, Mount Stewart, Prince Edward Island.
Big weekend coming up. Banjo Bowl right around the corner. Have you got plans? Maybe you're hosting a party. Catherine Rizak joins me today from Exceldor. You got plans, I know. Party time.
Party time. So we are the official poultry provider of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here at Exceldor. We are proudly Canadian. So we are promoting today our game day chicken mix. Ooh. So this is a party pack. It has the chicken fillets and the chicken wings that you can get at Princess Auto Stadium right at home in your kitchen.
So what people are eating at the stadium and loving it up oh so much,
that's right.
They can now make that at home.
That's right.
Okay,
so for your tailgate parties, your barbecues, your picnics, even a quick back to school dinner that you need to throw something in the air fryer, pre-cooked, frozen, all you gotta do is heat up. So air fryer, oven, barbecue.
Ooh, nice.
You're good to go. Good to go.
And I love that it's pre-cooked because sometimes, especially when you're hosting, you've got a lot of things going on, right? And you want to make sure that you're feeding safe food to your guests, obviously. But having it pre-cooked just kind of takes some of that guesswork out of it, right?
Totally does. And you can get creative. You can think outside the box with these meals. So here I have chicken tacos with a pinco de gallo.
Ooh,
delicious, delicious.
I'll just tip this a little bit so you can see that. Oh my gosh, that is mouth-watering.
And like, you just make a quick sauce, throw it on there, and you have a quick meal. Same with the buffalo chicken wraps over here on the side there, made with the chicken fillets as well. And you can make fancy dips too. We have a creamy cilantro dip here, and I have a homemade ranch for your chicken wings.
Because that's the nice thing about it, right? I mean, the chicken itself, very basic, right? You said that this one was the panko one?
Yes.
So there's a nice crispness to it,
That's right. That's right.
But then you have a little fun, and suddenly you're taking basically the same product and able to make so many different dishes out of it. And I mean, as far as like recipes go, this is all on the website
This
too,
is
right?
all on the exceldor.ca website.
Nice and easy.
Super easy. I think these are like 30-minute meals or less.
Ooh, I like that too.
So kids come home, need something quick, or you're having a really quick tailgate party, you're throwing something together for a away game. Easy.
And I love this because you've got the variety there, right? I mean, you can basically make up one big batch and then split it into several different dishes, right? It doesn't have to be 7. I don't know how many guests you're gonna have, but it makes it look like you've done all of that effort, but 30 minutes or less, so easy. These ones you say you threw on the barbecue?
Threw these on the barbecue and they crisp up really nicely, and barbecue season won't be around for long, so let's use the barbecue while we can.
Fair enough, fair enough. There's always those hardy people that like are barbecuing right through January, and I always think, really? Really? But you're right, this time of year, it is kind of perfect, right? When it's still relatively nice outside. So doing these up on the barbecue, anything to keep in mind? I mean, like you said, they're pre-cooked, so it's just a matter of heating through, right?
Heating through, making sure that skin is nice and crispy, so a high heat, and you're good to go.
All right. What's your favorite?
My favorite, okay, so I have to go with the game day chicken mix because I can dip it in my ranch, and then I can have my chicken fillets too, and classic honey dill sauce, right? What a Manitoba
of course.
thing.
Yes, absolutely. Lots of fun. Banjo Bowl this weekend, but you can get that, I mean, all year round, right? Where do people find it?
People find this at Save On Foods across Manitoba, and then they can also find our additional products as well, the spicy and smoked chicken wings, the barbecue chicken wings, and the panko chicken fillets just on their own as well, all at Save On Foods.
Excellent. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Go Bombers. Yeah, we got a little redemption coming your way. All right, 16 degrees. Ooh, it's Bud the Bug that's back this morning. 16 right now with north-northwest winds, 20 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 94%, that heavier cloud cover over most of the province, and the possibility that some showers will come along with it. We were keeping our eye on some showers earlier this morning, which have pushed off to the east, but even about 20 minutes ago on the rooftop, I was noticing just a little bit of misty drizzle. Possibility of some showers throughout parts of northern Manitoba. That chance of precipitation is there. Northern Manitoba will likely see it first today, then moving through central Manitoba, and eventually then through the south as well. High teens expected as our high temperatures for today, which is a little bit shy of seasonal, 21 degrees normal for this time of year. And not only will we not get there today, we'll get further from that number over the next few days as it continuously cools down with some soggier weather ahead, right down to 11 degrees as our high on Thursday with some rain expected. But from there, a little more sunshine, a little more heat, and finally back to seasonal as we're looking on the other side of the weekend. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back in just a moment with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Before we say goodbye, we're going to kick things off with a dream come true.
Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness.
You are flying in a float plane in Alaska.
Oh, this 83-year-old just scratched off float plane to Alaska from his bucket list. Kenny, a Navy veteran, can't help but marvel at the view as he flies high above the landscape and wildlife. A well-deserved trip for a man that continues to give back to his community. That's beautiful.
Wow.
Now to views when you defy gravity.
I'm the winning one. It's me.
It's me. Wow. This wicked witch is searching for the Emerald City. Watch as she zip lines above twin waterfalls in Thailand while channeling her inner Elphaba. Wow, that is beautiful.
That is quite stunning.
Absolutely.
The costume was probably unnecessary, but the scenery was stunning.
So cool. And finally, a pint-sized player on the pitch. Oh my. Wow, he's practically a pro. And 1.5-year-old Ace is showing off his footy skills with his dad. He has already mastered kicking, running, and carrying the ball. Next up, MLS.
Get that kid an agent.
Oh my goodness, he's good. That's perfect.
Dad's a ninja in the background.
Well, that does it for us. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.